in another quest for that historic and famous sports prize, hockey's Stanley Cup.
New York, after 54 years, you're
not only over the season, but in a sensational performance during the playoffs. The semifinal B series opened in lusty Chicago, where the home team has to win or the fans are insulted. They roared their beloved Hawks to victory in the first two home games. The scores, 5-4 and 5-2. Then in the third game at Detroit, Eric Nestorenko could no longer contain Howe, the leading point scorer, the Art Ross Trophy winner. The great Gordon celebrated his birthday by leading his team to a 4-2 win. It was all the inspiration the persistent Red Wings needed. With Chicago's Bobby Hull injured and two other first-stringers out of the lineup, the Red Wings evened the series at home and then went on to win the 4 straight required to eliminate Chicago in 6 games. And so, Detroit, the surprise team over the entire season, fulfilled their underrated potential and were ready now to take on the winner of the Toronto-Montreal series. Meanwhile, the Stanley Cup champions of 1962 had beaten their old rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, in the first 2 games of the A series in Toronto. Coach Toblake's Canadiens were looking forward to better things when they packed up to return to their home stadium, the Montreal Forum. Pack, travel, play. Pack, travel, play. Skates, sticks, and uniforms, and strong, healthy bodies, always on the move. There's no let-up in the NHL, not when the Stanley Cup is the prize. Vive les Canadiens! The roar of the crowd nearly lifted the roof off the Forum, but the combination of home ice and home crowd was not enough. The third game of the A Series semifinal went again to the league-leading Toronto Maple Leafs. It was 3 up and 1 to go. The home of Les Canadiens is the home of the Richards, and neither one of them gives up without a fight. It was Henri Richard who sparked the Canadiens to a 3-1 victory and brought a gleam back to the eyes of the dedicated Montreal fans. 2 nights later, the gleam faded and died as the Maple Leafs pulled out all the stops and blanked the Canadiens 5-0. The semifinals were over, and now it was just team against team for the biggest prize in hockey. Champion versus the ambitious contender, Toronto Maple Leafs and Detroit Red Wings. Every stick machined to perfection. The annual Sports Classic began, adding to the excitement for television viewers, the voice of Bill Hewitt.
Here we are at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto for the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Detroit Red Wings wearing white, and the Toronto Maple Leafs in their dark blue uniforms. Frank Goodberry drops the puck, and it goes back by Keon. Keon and Duff try to combine. Duff took his pass. Away he goes down the left wing, over the blue line, closing in. He scores! Dick Duff past the short side. And the Maple Leafs go in front 1-0 at the 49-second mark of the first period. It's Duff getting another break. Coming in the left side, he shoots. Leafs 2, Detroit no score. Leafs clear the puck into the Detroit zone. Sawchuk stopping. It's scooping into the corner. Bill Gadsby back for it. Up comes Gadsby with a pass to Gordie Howe at the blue line. Howe goes to center. A pass on the right wing over the line. The Red Wings close in around the Leaf goal. Bauer stopped one. Parker McDonald tried to get it back to the blue line. He does. It rolls out in the wings. Nevin's got a break coming in from the side. Right in front, a backhand. He scores! Bob Nevin makes it 3-0 for the Maple Leafs in the first period. On a Maple Leafs 3, Detroit Red Wings no score. In the second period, Larry Jeffrey in the early minutes comes through from Ullman and Smith, and it's 3-1 with the Red Wings pressing. It's cleared to the blue line. Stopped by Howe. A shot goes wide. Larry Jeffrey has scored the only goal of the game for the Red Wings so far. Got it loose to Ullman. Ullman passing it back again to the blue line. Alex Delvecchio, a slap shot. That was stopped by Bauer. He juggles it. Jeffrey goes after it. Couldn't control it. It goes to the boards. He scoops it back out in front of the net. And it clears out to the blue line. Here the Red Wings fighting for it again. A pass to Gordie Howe and a shot. And Bauer stopped that. Still in the Leaf zone. Finally goes out. The Red Wings come in again. Gordie Howe to Larry Jeffrey. He cuts and he scores! Larry Jeffrey gets his second goal of the night from Howe and Ullman at 8:05 of the second period. Nevin from Pulford and Shack in the third period. The Leafs win the game 4-2.
The stage is set for the second game in Toronto. It followed much the same pattern as the first contest, with the Maple Leafs scoring 3 goals before a reply from Detroit. Eddie Litzenberger opens for the Maple Leafs at 5:31 from Bob Pulford and Tim Horton. Ron Stewart gave the Leafs a 2-0 lead before the first period was over. After just 49 seconds in the second period, Bob Nevin scores from Alan Stanley and Tim Horton, giving the Leafs a 3-0 lead. The Red Wings storm back, and Gordie Howe scores on his summer fishing partner, Johnny Bauer. For the 6th time in his NHL career, Howe was awarded the Hart Trophy for being the most valuable player to his team. Ron Stewart gets his second goal of the night when he outguesses Terry Sawchuk with a backhand shot on a pass from Eddie Litzenberger. The Leafs go in front of Detroit 4-1. Gordie Howe completes the scoring in the third period on a perfect pass from Jeffrey and Ullman. The Leafs win their second game in a row, 4-2. Next stop, Detroit and the Olympia Stadium, with Keon still to be heard from. Pack 'em up, Bob Haggart. There's a plane to be caught and a game to be won. Take it easy with the sticks when you load them on board. One of them is labeled Stanley Cup. And easy on the passengers. The season's been long and there's work still to be done. Detroit Olympia, hungry for the Stanley Cup, which the Red Wings last won in 1955. Thousands of loyal fans, not one of them the slightest bit downhearted. They saw their Wings lose the first 2 games to the Hawks in the semifinal and then come back. What happened once can happen again. Now, Bill Hewitt.
Getting set for the face-off. Detroit Red Wings are wearing their dark red uniforms. The Maple Leafs in white. Referee Frank Gadveri drops the puck and the Leafs take possession. Going back into their own zone, Stanley cleared it out, knocked back by Detroit. The Leafs are hemmed in their own end. Stasiak goes after the puck in the corner. He clears it back. Detroit still keep it in. Stasiak gets a hold of it. Here's a backhand. He scores! Vic Stasiak scoring after just 33 seconds of this first period. Detroit on their home ice leading 1-0. Here's the chance for Eddie Joyelle. Bauer slides out. Oh, and Joyelle hit the goal post. Stanley picks up the rebound. Waits. Passes it to Bob Pulford. Away goes Pulford to his own blue line to center. Up to the Detroit line. He gets through the fence. Getting set the backhand. Oh, and Sawchuk slid out and made the save. It's Detroit carrying the puck back into the Leaf zone. Delvecchio trying to center. Howe lets one go. That's wide. It goes to the board. Cleared out and down the ice. Now it's Keon breaking up a Detroit rush, getting in front. He slides, he scores! Keon goes flying over Sawchuk, and the puck goes in the net. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have tied it up. Davy Keon, who is known as the little firecracker in Detroit, comes through with a tying goal for the Maple Leafs. We're in the second period. The score is still tied, 1-1. Bauer falls down after stopping a shot. And the Leafs cleared out to center ice. Duff going after it. A long shot by Keon was wide. Armstrong missed the rebound. Detroit in possession to Vic Stasiak, clearing it out to center. Now it's Alex Faulkner losing the puck to Bob Bond. Bond, a clearing pass for Bob Nevin. He couldn't get it out. Faulkner picks it up in front of the net. He shoots. He scores! Alex Faulkner, the pride of Newfoundland, gives Detroit the lead for the second time in the game. Now leading in the second period, 2-1. Dave Keon into Detroit territory. A pass for Armstrong, picked up by Ullman. Ullman goes in over the Leaf line, trying to go around Horton. Horton turned him around. The puck comes near Bauer. He kicks it out. Stanley sits on it, and he and Bauer hold it for a face-off. Now here's a chance for the Red Wings again. Floyd Smith over the line. A drop pass for Stasiak. He's got it. A pass in front, and Ullman missed it. Horton goes after it. He checks Floyd Smith. Going down the right wing. A pass over to Kelly. Up over the blue line. They're going in together. Kelly waits, shoots. It hit Horton. Scores! Horton off his leg into the net, and Terry Sawchuk comes running out to talk to referee Frank Udbury. Score is now tied 2-2. The puck is back in the Leaf zone. Here's Marcel Pronovo, a shot. Faulkner deflected. He scores! Alex Faulkner got a piece of the puck with his stick, and it went into the net. And the Detroit Red Wings go ahead again, 3-2. Detroit Red Wings now leading by a score of 3-2, and we're in the third period. The puck goes back into the Maple Leaf zone. Gordie Howe is checked. Ullman gets his shot. Picked up by Brewer. Brewer fakes a pass, then finally clears it. George Armstrong stick handling around the Detroit defense. Howe slid in front of him and comes up with the puck. Gordie Howe, number 9, shoots it out to center ice. Bauer tipped the puck off to the side. Now it's Eddie Shack, a pass for Pulp. Right in front, he shoots. Oh, he shot it over top of the net on a backhand. And Doug Barkley tried to clear it. It's in the corner. 3-2 for the Detroit Red Wings. Here's a chance for a shot by Armstrong. Knocked down in front. The Leafs are using 6 attackers. Chance for Horton, a shot. Sawchuk got a piece of it. And he's jammed into the side of the net there, and they finally hold it for a face-off. Time running out. Leafs using 6 attackers. Detroit ahead, 3-2. Alex Del Vecchio picks up the loose puck, goes behind the net, and the game is over. And the Detroit Red Wings have defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 3-2, and now the Leafs lead the Stanley Cup Final Series 2-1.
Game number 4 in Detroit.
From the draw, Keon gets it back to the blue line. Stanley gets it over to Horton on the right wing, and Horton clears the puck into the Detroit zone, and they cleared right back out again. Normie Ullman was checked by George Armstrong, who clears it into the Detroit zone. Duff goes after it into the corner. He runs into Floyd Smith, and Ullman comes up with it. Ullman's pass goes out over the blue line. Leafs in possession, shooting it right back into the Detroit zone, into the corner. It's near Sawchuk. He whacks the puck back to the board, and Gordie Howe has it, number 9. Howe, a long pass over out of the left wing. Howe gets it handed back, gets a shot, he scores, and it gets through Bauer's glove into the net. And Detroit take a 1-0 lead in the first period of this fourth game at the 2:54 mark. Del Vecchio and Parker McDonald assisting. There's a shot by Detroit, knocked down by Stanley. It goes to the corner, and Horton has it. Pass to the blue line. Detroit keep it in. Here's a chance for Ullman. A shot. Bauer catches it. Howe runs into him, and they fall together right in the goal crease. George Armstrong of the Maple Leafs scored at the 1:17 mark of this second period, and the game is all tied up, 1-1. Keon getting an assist on the play, and the puck is in the Leaf zone. Joyal takes a shot, number 21. The rebound goes to Nevin. He's checked. Puck is still in there. Joyal clearing it out to the side. Howe trying to center. He's behind the goal, carrying it off to the wing. Gordie Howe after number 9. He's being watched by Stewart. Gets away from him. Still has it, a backhand. Parker McDonald's bumped by Bond. Howe is knocked out to the wing by Brewer, and Brewer races after with Joyal. Joyal failed to get to it, but it's kept in by Alex Del Vecchio. Nevin lost his stick. Here's Joyal right in front of the net. He gets set, waits, takes a shot. Bauer stops it. He gets it again. He scores. Eddie Doyle scoring for Detroit. And the Red Wings go ahead by a score of 2-1. Now it's Kelly back again. Litzenberger on his right. Kelly waits. Shoots. He scores. Kelly picked the short side, beating Sachak with a quick shot. And the game's all tied up again, 2-2. Now we're in the third period with the score tied 2-2. And Dave Keon breaks out on the right wing to center ice. Up over the Detroit blue line, weaving around. Pete Goigan knocked it off the side. Ullman knocks him into the boards. Armstrong tried to center it. He did. Brewer's shot, and Duff missed the rebound. It's out in front, cleared off to the side again. It's the Leafs keeping it in there. Keon, a shot for Armstrong. It rebounds behind Gadsby. Picked up by Keon again. He shoots, he scores! Keon on a backhand. On the short side. And the Leafs take the lead. Toronto Maple Leafs leading 3-2 as Jerry Odrowski failed to get it out of his own zone for Detroit. Back there is Doug Barkley along the board. Pavlis tried to trap it. It's kept in by the Leafs. Goes to Doug Barkley again, and he shoots it, but not out. Kelly gets a hold of it in front. He shoots and scores! Kelly! Let go a quick wrist shot. Sawchuk got a piece of it, but not enough, and it slid by him into the net. And the Leafs have defeated the Detroit Red Wings by a score of 4-2 to take a commanding lead of 3-1 in their Stanley Cup Final Series.
Back to the home of the champions for what many experts predicted would be the last game of the series and the year. Tickets, except for the early birds and the season ticket holders, were impossible to find. Bill Hewitt was there.
The Detroit Red Wings, wearing their white uniforms, carry the puck. Alex Faulkner clearing it into the Leaf zone. Johnny Bauer stopped it. Brewer nearly lost it. It goes over to the wing. After it, their number 15, Andre Pronovo, was jammed into the board. Still in the Leaf zone. The Leafs finally clear it out, and Eddie Shack knocks it down into the Detroit zone, goes after it. Tried to pass in front. He's never alone. He shoots. Oh, and Terry Sachak came out of his goal crease to cover up on the shot. No score in this first period. Jerry Odrowski in the penalty box. Dave Keon in possession. Getting set. Dragging the puck in Detroit territory. Gadsby watching him. Also Fontaine. He passed it behind Douglas, number 19, who flips it over to Kelly. Kelly was checked by Gadsby, but Keon came to help him hit his skate. Back to Kelly. For Keon again into the corner. Douglas waits. A pass to Keon. Keon coming out in front. Turns around. A backhand is wide. Kelly gets it in the corner. Back to Douglas. A slap shot. Oh, and Terry Sachak picked that one out of the air with his left hand. Kelly into the corner. Leafs still putting on the pressure. Cleared out. Gordie Howe's got a breakaway. Bauer comes racing out, and he takes the puck away from Howe. And it goes out to center. The Leafs bring it back. Kelly over the line. Let go a screen shot. Sachak stopped that. It's all around the Detroit goal. Kelly another shot. Sachak slid in front of it with Ullman. Ullman behind the goal into the corner. Brings it up to center ice. Clearing pass on the wing. Detroit come over the line. Stasiak to Howe. Howe was checked. It's slapped to the blue line. Keon's going to break one man back. Keon going up the center. Over the blue line. Around Del Vecchio. He shoots. He scores! Dave Keon scores for the Maple Leafs at the 17:44 mark of the first period. And the Leafs lead 1-0. And now we're getting set for the second period with Keon's goal giving the Leafs a 1-0 lead after one period. Getting set now for the second period in a face-off in the Leaf zone. It's Gordie Howe coming back to Del Vecchio. He takes a shot. He scores! Alex Del Vecchio slapped at it. And it hit the inside of the left goal post and went into the net. And it's all tied up. And for Alex Del Vecchio, he scored after just 49 seconds of the second period. And it's a 1-1 tie. Now we get set for the third period. A long shot. Goes near the Leaf goal. Cleared by Armstrong. Down the ice. A race for Keon trying to get through. Gadsby slides in front of him and knocks him into the boards. And the puck goes back to center. As Detroit with Ullman. Clearing the puck in. A bouncing shot. Bauer came out of his net to stop it. And Bob Bong cleared a backhand into the corner along the board. Away goes Dick Duff to his own blue line to center. Over the Detroit blue line. A backhand shot. That shot got it on his skate. The rebound to Ullman. Skated off by Keon. It took it away from him. Keon trying to get a pass in front of the net. Sawchuk out of the goal, failed to get to it, and it's picked up by Ullman. Ullman shot it off the board. Here's the Leafs coming back. Shack over the line with Pulford. A pass in front, and Pulford missed it. Shack gets the rebound in the corner again. Clears it back to Horton, a shot. Sawchuk stops it. He stops an Ullman, rolls up his arm, and he holds on for a face-off in the Detroit zone. Pulford lost the draw. Alex Faulkner, number 12. A clearing pass in the left wing, stopped by Douglas. He shoots, hits Shack's stick, scores! A deflected shot by Kent Douglas, hitting Shack's stick and going into the corner of the net. And the Leafs take the lead by a score of 2-1 at the 13:28 mark of this third period. And now we have 6 minutes and 21 seconds left. Detroit with Parker McDonald, Eddie Joyelle, and Normie Ullman trying to come out to center. Parker McDonald, a pass. Joyelle gets over the line. He's closing in from the left side. He shoots it, and Power stopped it. The rebound went out to the wing. Sawchuk is coming out of the net. The Red Wings now have 6 attackers. Hits right in front of the net. Here's Ullman, an open net. He shoots, hits Douglas, and it bounces over Howe into the corner. It's still loose, as the Red Wings are doing everything but put that puck in the net. It comes back out in front. Nevin tries to get it out. He can't. Howe is all a tap. 2-1 for the Maple Leafs. And still the Red Wings are using 6 attackers. It's Ullman trying to get the draw. It's cleared down the ice. Bruce McGregor is now out there for the Red Wings. It goes into the corner. Back there for it quickly, Del Vecchio. Ullman also with him. Now it's Ullman leading the attack. Coming up to his own blue line. Up to center with Parker McDonald. Over the line to Howe. Howe takes his shot. It goes off to the wing. Another shot by Del Vecchio deflects wide. Armstrong, number 10, comes up with it. He clears to Keon. Keon shoots. It's going down the ice. Del Vecchio missed it. It's sliding all the way in. It's in the net. And the Toronto Maple Leafs have won the Stanley Cup.
Have won the Stanley Cup. All the competitive heat of the long season is now forgotten. And to the victors, the Stanley Cup, emblematic of the hockey championship of the world. George Armstrong, captain of the Leafs, receives it from Clarence Campbell, president of the National Hockey League. Both of them grateful to demonstrate the appreciation and admiration which always goes hand in hand with top performance. In any competitive sport, there must always be a champion. In 1963, it's the Toronto Maple Leafs. But in the National Hockey League, it could be any one of the 6 teams in any given year. For the league itself is a league of champions.